Gold and silver prices surged to fresh record highs this week as investors sought refuge from a combination of domestic political uncertainty and escalating geopolitical tensions. Over the past few days, gold climbed above $4,193 per ounce, while silver reached $84.29 an ounce, marking all-time highs for both metals. The rally comes amid mounting concerns over the independence of the U.S. Federal Reserve and ongoing unrest in key regions, including Iran and Venezuela, highlighting the traditional role of precious metals as safe haven assets during periods of uncertainty. The surge in prices accelerated after news broke that the U.S. Department of Justice had served subpoenas related to cost overruns at the Federal Reserve's Washington headquarters. Fed Chair Jerome Powell publicly addressed the issue, emphasizing that the central bank's decisions on interest rates are based solely on economic conditions and public interest rather than political pressures. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public rather than following the preferences of the president, Powell said in a video statement released late Sunday. Market participants reacted quickly, interpreting the subpoenas as a potential signal of political interference in monetary policy. Analysts noted that any perceived threat to the Fed and AS autonomy could heighten investor demand for traditional hedges such as gold and silver. Karsten Menke, head of Next Generation Research at Julius Baer, said, Chairman Powell sees this as a pretext for putting further pressure on the Fed as President Trump remains dissatisfied with monetary policy, threatening the central bank's independence. The precious metal markets agree with his assessment. Gold and silver prices are up. The surge in metals is not solely attributable to domestic developments. Geopolitical instability has also fueled the rally. In Iran, widespread protests have resulted in hundreds of deaths amid ongoing economic strain, while in Venezuela, political and economic unrest continues to threaten regional stability. Traders have closely monitored these events, as global tensions often lead investors to allocate funds towards safe haven assets. The combination of domestic political uncertainty and international instability has created a powerful tailwind for gold and silver. The U.S. dollar and Treasury markets reflected this uncertainty. The U.S. dollar index, which measures the currency against a basket of major peers, fell 0.4% to 98.72, while the yield on 10-year Treasury notes inched slightly higher to 4.2%. Lower dollar strength often contributes to higher dollar-denominated commodity prices, reinforcing gains in precious metals. Investors also appear to be positioning themselves ahead of potential changes in Fed leadership, with Powell expected to step down in May. The markets are closely watching whether his successor will maintain the Fed's independence or align more closely with political directives, a factor that could have material implications for interest rates and market sentiment. Gold's record-breaking surge reflects its traditional role as a store of value during turbulent times. Investors seeking protection from inflation, currency volatility, and geopolitical uncertainty have poured capital into the yellow metal, driving prices higher. Silver, meanwhile, has benefited from both industrial demand and its historical correlation with gold, amplifying its rally. The metal's gains of over 6% in a single session underscore its status as a leveraged alternative to gold during periods of heightened market stress. Market analysts caution, however, that while the rally appears robust, some factors suggest potential for consolidation. Silver and gold have experienced rapid gains relative to other commodities, raising questions about sustainability. Yongshin Kung, chief investment officer at Mast Investments, noted, silver has deviated from its linkages to gold and other precious metals. There should be more convergence. Silver has been unexpectedly strong. Such deviations suggest that while momentum remains in favor of precious metals, the markets may be vulnerable to corrections if either political tensions ease or broader economic conditions shift. For investors aged 35 and older, who often prioritize wealth preservation alongside growth, the recent price action underscores the importance of balancing risk and opportunity. While gold and silver provide an attractive hedge against uncertainty, rapid gains can also introduce volatility into investment portfolios. Traders are advised to monitor developments closely, particularly regarding Fed independence and geopolitical flashpoints, as both are likely to continue influencing precious metal prices in the near term. The rally in precious metals also highlights broader market dynamics. As safe haven demand surges, equities and riskier assets can experience volatility or pullbacks. This phenomenon has been evident in recent trading sessions, where gains in metals coincided with muted performance in major equity indexes. Investors are increasingly viewing gold and silver as a barometer of global uncertainty, with metals prices acting as both a reflection of risk sentiment and a mechanism for preserving wealth during turbulent times. Looking ahead, the market will likely continue to focus on the Fed's policy stance and geopolitical developments. The upcoming transition in Fed leadership will be closely scrutinized for any indications of changes in rate-setting philosophy. while international conflicts and unrest could further drive safe haven flows. If uncertainty persists, gold and silver may continue to reach new highs, offering potential opportunities for investors, while also requiring careful risk management due to their historically volatile behavior during periods of rapid price acceleration. In summary, the record-breaking surge in gold and silver reflects a convergence of domestic and international concerns. Political pressures on the Federal Reserve, as highlighted by subpoenas and Powell's statements, have raised fears about central bank independence, while unrest in regions such as Iran and Venezuela has further elevated safe haven demand. The resulting rally has pushed gold above $4,193 an ounce and silver above $84 per ounce, signaling strong investor appetite for protection amid uncertainty. For long-term investors, the metals provide both opportunity and caution, emphasizing the need to carefully assess market dynamics, geopolitical risk, and potential volatility as prices continue to test historic levels.